Sandy. I'm a licensed realtor here in the Central Florida area. Today I want to do a topic on how to sell your home in 2023 with the rise of interest rate. Interest rates are climbing. They just hiked them again a few weeks ago by a few points or a few percentage. And a lot of people are wondering, okay, if I'm going to sell my home now, how am I going to sell it? Because buyers are kind of scared to buy. They're kind of wondering what's going to happen. People are predicting a crash in the market. So let's talk about how to sell your home in 2023 in spite of the increase in interest rate. How many people will agree that homes are still selling? Homes are still selling. And how many people will agree that no matter what the market is, or no matter what's going on in the market, people are always going to have to buy and sell a home? Always. So if I'm a homeowner and I'm looking to sell, one of the first things I'm going to figure out is, who are the people that are looking to buy? Who are the people that must buy right now? Some of these people include people who are relocating, people going through a divorce, people going through life changes, people getting married, people having a baby, need to expand on the family, people downgrading. So these are some of the people that will have to buy, right? So these are the buyers you're going to be going after. One of the things to consider is, how can you assist the buyer in selling your home? What incentive would you give the buyer? And so some of the things that we tell our sellers are, one of the first things I would do is I would do a pre-inspection. So I would do an inspection of the property. If I'm thinking of selling my home, I'm going to do an inspection of the home to find out what's going on. Because you may live in the home for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and you might think everything is all good until the inspector comes in and everything is not good. So the first thing I'm going to do is do a home inspection to make sure everything is good, right? Another thing you want to do is you want to hire a professional realtor who knows what they're doing. Of course, you could sell the property on your own. Of course, you could do it for sale by owner. But in order for you to reach the biggest pool of people, I would probably consider hiring a professional that is versed in their industry and knows exactly what's going on in your marketplace. That's super important. Another thing to consider is staging the home, right? So you got to prep the home to get this buyer. We're going to get to the interest rate in a minute. But you want to prep the home, so you may want to have a professional stager come in. Or if you're using a professional realtor, they will have connection with different stagers, or they themselves might be able to give you different tips in staging the home. Because what we want to do, we want to attract the buyer, right? Because if we're going to sell, we want to introduce the home to as many buyers as possible that must buy now. And in order for us to attract these buyers, we want to make sure the home is attractive. And to make the home attractive, we want to make it look as new as possible. Especially if you're in an area where you're competing with new construction homes. If you're competing with new construction homes, then you have to make your home look like the new construction home that you're competing with. So these are a few things. Here's another thing. So now we did an inspection, we staged the home. Now we have to price it right. That is super important. We want to make sure we stage the home right. We want to make sure we price it right? So we have to look at the prices that similar homes in the neighborhood have sold for. We want to come up with a correct price. Once we come up with the correct price, now we're ready to market. And now we want to know, how are we going to get the buyer, right? How are we going to attract the buyers? So we're going to do a few things. First, we're going to make the home a pre-certified home. A pre-certified home means that you're already did pre-inspection. So you already have an inspection report you give to the buyer. You already check with your title company to make sure there's no liens on the property, something you don't know about. Maybe you did a repair and you didn't pay the guy, or you paid the guy and he said he didn't get paid and you put a lien on your property. You don't know. You want to get that done. So now we're ready to present the home to buyers. We want to give the buyers some incentives, because especially if you're competing with new construction, or if you're in the price point of new construction, builders are giving their buyers a lot of incentives. So you want to do some incentives. Some of the incentives might be to offer the buyer to buy down their interest rate. Like you might say, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, if you buy my home, I will give you $5,000 towards you buying down your interest rate. Or Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, if you buy my home, I will give you $5,000 towards your closing costs. And then if you give that money towards your closing costs, then they could decide what they want to do with it. They could speak with their lender, and the lender could tell them, yes, with this money, you could probably buy a few points down. New constructions are selling still right now because the builders are offering to buy the buyer's interest rate down. So that's one of the things you could consider. So here's the thing. Let's say the market value of your home is $400,000, right? That's the market value. And let's say you're thinking, well, I really want to sell. Maybe I should list it at $390,000. Maybe another way of thinking of that is list it at $400,000 and offer $10,000 to the buyer towards their closing costs, so that they could use that money to either pay their closing costs, buy some points down to lower their interest rate, or a combination of both. But that's what I would be looking at if I was selling in this market right now. I would definitely be looking to giving the buyer an incentive to buy, either offering to lower their interest rate by giving them money to pay some points down so they could lower their interest rate, or towards their closing costs. Another thing to consider in this market, since interest rates are high and people are going to have higher monthly payment, is if you're in an HOA, what about you pay the HOA for a year for the buyer, or maybe 2 years, based upon what the HOA price is. So since they're already going to have a high interest rate, you're going to have to qualify for the loan, not just on the payback to the loan, but also on the HOA if your property is located in an HOA. So if it's located in an HOA and you're able to tell the buyer, listen, buyer, I will pay a year or two of your HOA. You decide if you want to pay 1 year or 2 years. That'll be a great incentive. Another incentive in selling a home now in this high interest rate market is offering a home warranty insurance to the buyer. So, the buyer's gonna get their own homeowner's insurance, but the home warranty insurance is going to insure all the appliances, including the air conditioning system, all the appliances in the home, the hot water tank, all that great stuff. So if you have a older home, or if you have older appliances in the home, and you're telling the buyer, I'll pay 2 years off your home warranty insurance, or I'll give you a 2-year home warranty insurance, so that way you have all these things covered for 2 years, then that'll be great. You could do a year or two, but you could do a year or 2 years. I always find that 2 years always give more incentive. So let's recap. We could offer the buyer some money so they could lower their interest rate by buying down points. We could offer them money to go towards their closing costs, or both. We could offer them to pay a year or two of homeowners association fees, the HOA dues. And we could offer to give them a year or two off, home warranty insurance. Let's put this in a bucket. Let's say, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to offer the buyer $10,000. I'm going to say to the buyer, listen, I'm going to offer you $10,000. You could do a number of different things with it. You could use it to pay your closing costs. You could use it to lower your interest rate. You could use it to probably pay your homeowners insurance, your homeowners association fees, the HOA, not the homeowners insurance. That was a mistake. You could use it to pay your HOA fee up to a year. You could also use it to pay a year or two of your home warranty insurance if you want to get a home warranty. Or I'll give you $10,000 towards your closing costs, and I will also give you 2 years of home warranty insurance. I'll pay that for you at the closing table. Or I'll give you $10,000 towards your closing costs. You could use that money to also lower your interest rate if that's what you choose to do. And also, on top of that, I will also pay the HOA for a year for you. So these are some of the things that you could do if you're in a situation where you're trying to sell the home, but you're worried about the interest rate. Homes are not selling as fast in your area because it depends upon the area. There are some homes that are selling really quickly right now. But if you're caught in that position and you really have to sell and you're like, oh my God, what if it doesn't sell? These are some of the incentives that you could give to the buyer to help them to buy your home. Now, those are a few points. I hope this helps. If you have any questions or if you want to discuss this further, feel free to give us a call, send us a text. We're at 407-791-4713. Our information should be somewhere on top of the video or somewhere below there. You could, we offer Zoom calls all the time to people that just want to go through some consultation to find out how they could sell their home. We also work with a lot of cash investors, guys. So if you didn't want to go through none of that stuff, you're like, you know what, I just want to sell the house. I don't want to go through none of that stuff. We also work with cash investors that will buy your home within 30 days or less, right? So if it's like, I just want to sell the home, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to have to deal with buyers trying to qualify for mortgage and all that great stuff. I just want a cash buyer. We work with a lot of cash buyers and we work with a lot of cash investors. I hope this helps. Thank you so much for listening. I will catch you on the next video.